Hey everybody, it's Jake from the Jake the Bowler YouTube channel, and in this episode of my series From Amateur to Pro, I'm going to talk about my arsenal, which bowling balls are in it, and where they fit in my bag. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The first ball I want to talk about is the original Motiv Forza. In 15 pounds it has an RG of 2.50 and a max differential of 0.51. It has the Torx core and the Helix solid reactive cover stock. Now this ball has been a staple in my bag for years, and I mean years. Pretty much ever since it first came out. It's just been a great ball for me to throw on house shot, in leagues, in tournaments, anything. And it's actually the first ball that the first Motiv ball I ever threw a 300 with. So it has a little sentimental value with it. Here's a couple shots. Next up, we have the original Primal Impulse by Motiv Bowling. In 15 pounds, it has a 2.60 RG and a max differential of 0.050. It uses the Impulse core, which is a ground-breaking core. It's a dual density symmetric, which is insane. It's a very, very good ball, very interesting, and it uses the Atomics Skid Flip Pearl cover stock. Now, when I say skid flip, that has to do with the motion of the core in the ball as it goes down lane and flares and flips into its roll state. And this ball, I've had some success with it. My dad has had more success as he's thrown 300s with this ball. And it's a very good ball for league when I need something that won't overreact when it hits the friction. And it's a great addition to really any league bag for any bowler, because it will allow you to get much tighter in games 2 and 3 without giving away too much of the pocket. And it's a very clean and responsive and controllable ball. So here are a couple shots. Next up, we have another ball in the Primal line, the Primal Rage Remix. Now, this ball is a remake of the original OG red ball, as some people would call it, the Primal Rage. In 15 pounds, it has an RG of 2.55 and a max differential of 0.050. It uses the Impulse version 2 core, which they expanded upon and improved the original Impulse core that was in the Primal Impulse. And it uses the Raw Fusion hybrid reactive cover stock. Now, this one is another ball that my father and I have both used and still both use. It's a great ball, a great addition to any bag. For me, more so to tournaments, and for him, more so to league. He has a much slower ball speed and not as much hand in the ball as I do. And he can just soft toss it out and it'll come back to the pocket from basically anywhere for him. For me, I use its raw power to overpower some lane conditions that I'm having trouble getting my ball to hook on. So, you'll see that. Here's a couple shots. The next ball I want to talk about is the Motiv Ascent Pearl. Again, another older ball, but for me, it's a wonderful addition to my bag. In 15 pounds, it has a 2.59 RG with a max differential of 0.025. It uses the Recon core, which is a core that Motiv's had a lot of success with, as well as the Motivator Z cover stock, which is another cover stock that I match up really well with. So now this ball is one that I would take to League to get through the fronts when they're a little burnt up, but I would also take it to a tournament where I would need something with a quick responsive back end. My Ascent Pearl I have drilled pinned down, and it works. It works wonders, and I can't wait to show you a couple shots. So here you go. Next up, we have the Forge Fire, one of my personal favorites from Motiv. In 15 pounds, it has an RG of 2.47 and a max differential of 0.055. It uses the detonator core wrapped in the Infusion Hybrid Reactive cover stock. There is a lot of good things I can say about this ball. You know, it's a relatively new addition to my bag, and it is quickly rising to the top. This is one of those balls that I match up very, very well with, and I can use on League, I can use in tournaments. I can use this ball when I need something that is very responsive and very continuous throughout the through the pin deck, so I don't leave those corners as much. I use this one more towards League than I do in tournaments, and this ball is the house shot killer. I'm telling you what, this ball, it gives you such a wide room for error when you're playing on shots that are lower volume, and that it's just a beautiful ball. Here's some shots. And last but not least, we have the Jackal Ghost. In 15 pounds, it has an RG of 2.47, a max differential of 0.054, and an intermediate differential of 0.015. It uses the Predator V2 core, wrapped in the Coercion High Friction Solid Reactive cover stock. And it is a beauty. Now, this ball I actually don't have a whole lot of experience with. This is the newest ball in my bag as of right now, and it's very, very strong. I was not expecting this to be as strong as it is. I can't really play anywhere standing right of 10. I can't do anything like that with this ball, and I'm okay with it. Now this ball, it has a very, very sharp reaction to friction. So once it comes off the oil pattern, if I don't have it at the right board for its break point, it's going to go through the nose. That's just how powerful this ball is. And I know that I'll be able to use this ball on higher concentrations of oil and longer patterns to get a little bit more action and a little bit more miss room through those, you know, longer patterns and higher concentration patterns. So here are a couple shots. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of my series From Amateur to Pro. I'm Jacob from Jake the Bowler, signing off, and I'll see you in the next episode, where we'll get some more action on the lanes and tell you a little bit more about me. See ya.